Welcome in, everybody. Whoo, hoo, hoo. It is a Victory Monday yet again. Oh, much refreshing after last week's, kind of punch to the mouth. But boys are back, getting dubs as usual. Heading into the new year on a right note. We are undefeated in 2023, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully, we can keep that train going until next season. But Nick, my man, we got you here. We got Julius here. I'm ready to have a good show. So, my guy, ready to take on the Packers this Sunday night, or are you a little bit nervous?
I'm still hungover from New Year's Eve, so I'm just trying to focus on what's happening, where we're at in life. I'm very excited for the Packers game. I'm very excited for us to be flexed to the prime time. Spoiler alert in case you didn't know. I'm very excited. This whole week leading up to it is going to be fun. Just the idea and the chance that we have. We came away with a win against Chicago, our first ever New Year's Day win. Did you boys know that? First time ever in Detroit Lions history. We were one of two teams to never win on New Year's Day, us and the Houston Texans. And we finally got a win on New Year's Day, which is a very random stat, but just in case anyone didn't know, now you know we have officially won on New Year's Day.
No, love to hear it. But fortunately, things didn't go all perfect for at least not me and Julius, the Michigan man. I should say. But Julius, got to talk about it. The TCU loss. I brought this question up on Twitter, and I was thinking to myself, was this worse than that Michigan State ball is free loss, considering the circumstances and stage they were on?
Nah, it wasn't worse than that. It wasn't worse than that because I remember the feeling of that play, and
he had trouble with the snap.
It's like
it was like 2 minutes of doom for me as a Michigan fan. This loss to TCU really wasn't that low of a magnitude, but it did sting my heart, and it still stings my heart, even though the Lions are trying to make up for it, and that can happen if magic happens this weekend, but it stings. The Michigan loss stings, but it was a great season. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we can make it back at least one more season next year if Jim Harbaugh stays. I know he's gonna get offered the boat by a few teams, desperate Broncos, whoever else, So we'll see. Yeah, I like Michigan though. Like with Harbaugh, I feel like we're here. We've arrived.
I agree. Yeah, and I'm with you too. I still think the Michigan State, that ball is free loss. And ironically, I think the same announcer, was calling this game, and he made the ball is free comment during the game. And I was like, you son of a...
It helped that Ohio State lost too.
Yes.
Like if Ohio State would have beat Georgia and had a chance for the national title while we going home, it would have stung even worse.
Yeah, it would have. It was looking like real bad news for us Michigan fans.
But Ohio State is still trash.
Yes,
yeah. Not as trash as the Bears, but they're trash.
They got nothing going for them. So at least Michigan, Big Ten champs, can hang our heads on that. But all in all, let's talk some Lions. Like you said, Julius, a Lions. Honestly, even a playoff appearance, we could go. If we're going to San Francisco and they could just wipe our butts with beat us bad, and I would still probably be pretty happy that as long as we just took out the Packers and made it here after going 1-6, it's all extra icing on the cake. But we'll get into that a bit because there was a little news that happened just earlier. I'm pretty sure it's the only game so far that's been announced as a flex, and that's Sunday Night Football is Lions versus Packers, like you mentioned a little bit ago, Nick. We're taking on the Pack in prime time. Ironically, the NFL did not give us a single primetime game all year long. But you know what the Lions said? We said, damn it, we're going to go get our own primetime game. And we played our asses off because if this was the same old Lions, 3-13, whatever, there's no way we get primetime. They just expect Aaron Rodgers to roll us over. But the Lions are hot now. And this could be, is Aaron Rodgers back? Or do the Lions finally, is it their time? So it's a good storyline, win or lose despite the Seahawks game. Doesn't really matter for the NFL's rating sakes, but it does matter for the Lions. So We'll get into that a little bit too. So I'm going to ask you first, Julius. Were you shocked that we got flexed into this Sunday Night Football game, or were you thinking that we were going to be playing on 1 p.m.?
No, I'm not shocked. It makes sense seeing the situation that Seattle. If Seattle wins, it's pretty much down to the Packers winning or losing. We're out of it. We're just going to play spoiler after that. So it made sense that they put that game before and flexed us to nighttime. Hey, this is an opportunity to show the world on prime time what they denied us the whole season because they thought we was going to be trash. When they have a bunch of trash teams playing on a Thursday night football every week. And the Lions deserve to have at least 3 or 4 games, not just Thanksgiving. But we can show the rest of the world that in Green Bay, in Lambeau, we can crush Aaron Rodgers. Either we can do it and make the playoffs and be even more elated, or we can do it and just crush Aaron Rodgers and the Packers' hopes. That will feel great too, guys, even if we don't make the playoffs and we just deny Green Bay. That's a win. That's a win. That's momentum carrying over into the offseason. I know Nick doesn't think that exists, but I think that's a great way to end the season, even if we don't make the playoffs.
I agree.
How can we do it? That's the question.
And not to mention, if we, Seahawks win, Lions win, we finish the division 5-1, with that one loss being a fluky loss to the Vikings. So there is a real legit chance that the winner of this Packers-Lions game will be the favorite for the NFC North come next year because of just how the Vikings have looked. I know they're a 12-win team, but minus 19 on the point spread, that is just atrocious. One of the worst 12-win teams of all time. Nick, I see you got some thoughts. So Sunday Night Football, are you afraid of it? Are you embracing it? Did you expect it? What?
Fuck yeah, I'm embracing. This is what I wanted. I tweeted it. I said, the same old Lions mentality was, I don't want Rodgers. I don't want Green Bay to be having a shot. Nothing like, man, we're brand new Lions. We're going to go out there and we're going to dominate, and it's going to be great. This is exactly what we wanted. I like this. I don't care if Seattle wins or not. I truly, truly do not. I think a win over Green Bay and knocking them out of the playoffs, regardless of what Seattle does, may knock Aaron Rodgers out of the NFC. I truly believe that if he loses this and does not make the playoffs, he may be the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback next year. I don't
hot
think
take. I like it though.
And so this is what I wanted. I had tweeted it multiple times, and I will continue to say it. I wanted us to be flex. I want this to be a playoff atmosphere game. If anything, at least us Lions fans will be able to watch this and be like, man, this is a playoff atmosphere. If we can win this, regardless of what Seattle does, this is great for next year. Not the momentum, but just the idea that we can win these big games. I do want Seattle to lose. I do want this to be for the actual playoffs. And if it is, and we'll just say hypothetically, let's move this train to Seattle loses to the Rams. And while we are playing for Green Bay for this in prime time, and everyone's like, oh, that's just prime time at Lambeau. Yes, I'm nervous. Yes, we only beat Green Bay by 3 at home. And the difference of these games at home and on the road are significant. Yes, we beat Chicago, but by 1 on the road, by 31 at home. We lost to Minnesota on the road, 1 at home by a pretty significant amount. Like, these are 20-plus point differences from on the road to home. 20-plus point difference from our Green Bay game at home on the road is a 17-point loss. We can't have that, obviously. It's going to be crucial. It's going to be huge. It's going to be nerve-wracking. I'll be drunk. I'll be high. I'll be low. It'll be the best though. This is what we want as NFL fans. We for the first time since we lost to Green Bay in Green Bay, or maybe it was in Ford Field in Week 18. This is like the last December. This is the first December game we get to watch, or January game we get to watch and be excited about. Like, I don't know. So I'm very excited. I expected this the whole way. I knew that we were going to be flexed to this. I think I called it last week, or if not said, I bet we are going to. So I'm not nervous, or I am nervous. I'm not surprised, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you too. The NFL just loves Aaron Rodgers, and right now it's just kind of too I don't want to say picture perfect because Lions are going to come in there and ruin it, but as of now, it's picture perfect for Aaron Rodgers. And
absolutely is.
I absolutely love that he's still cocky, smirky, smiling reports like, we knew we would be here. We're going to beat the Lions 50-0. And, it could happen. But the fact that the Lions are there, like there's a little piece in Rodgers that's like, can't fuck this up, though. Cannot mess this up. So if the Lions can come in here, and honestly, I think this is our biggest game in probably like 3 years, 4 years, maybe longer than I can think of, because this is, playoff hopes on the line. This is, tides are turning. Aaron Rodgers. It's not like we're playing the Vikings for this position. It's not like playing the Bears. It is Aaron freaking Rodgers, the man that's tormented the Lions for years. So if we could do something like this, if Dan Campbell can win in Lambeau, if Jared Goff could go there, win in Lambeau, oh my goodness, the Lions would have just so much to build upon. I would be a full-on believer. If Jared Goff has a great game and wins in Lambeau, I will be all in. I will, don't care if Bryce Young's there, whatever. Goff will. That's enough. If you can win in Lambeau, I think that is enough for me. And all in all, man, I am so stoked for this game, and I'm happy that it's against Green Bay and in Lambeau. It's a tough opponent, but if we pull this off, it's one of those situations where it's like the Lions don't have much to lose, if any, and the Packers have quite a bit. If they lose this game, that's, like I've mentioned, it's gonna be a tide turning type thing. So
you got to beat the best to be the best.
Exactly.
And Aaron Rodgers and the Packers might not be the best as of standings to this year, but Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are the crucial, the epitome, the best of the NFC North over the last 15 years. To be the best, you got to beat the best. You cannot shy away from it. Obviously, Dan Campbell will be saying this exact same speech, hopefully, to the players, and hopefully a few of those players are watching right now, or maybe even DC himself. But that's what you got to do. You got to go out there, and you can't shy away from it. Jared Goff. It will come down to Jared Goff, I think. I think our defense will allow points, allow Aaron Rodgers to pass the ball very well. He will probably end up with, I think he had 400 yards last time we played him. Even though they only scored 9 points, he had like 400 passing yards. He'll probably do that again. He probably will. And we got to be understanding of that. We got to be okay with that. As fans and like watching this game, we need to understand that, but we can't win this game 12-9 in Lambeau. You can't do it.
That's definitely. I agree. Yeah, I don't think our defense will be able to win this game for us like they did last time. The 2 red zone interceptions, the 3 overall.
They'll keep us in it. They'll keep us in it, but they won't win it. Right.
But yes, it's going to be up to Goff. So before we get really into this Packers breakdown, let's talk the big victory that was a nice big old butt whooping to send the Bears packing. Enjoy watching the Lions play on prime time for a chance at playoffs, because you guys could only hope to be here a couple years ago. So all in all, let's talk the good, which was mostly the entire game except for that first drive. I think that was probably the only bad thing about this game. Fields ripped off like a couple big runs. They got the wide open touchdown to the tight end. The 2 things we haven't really been able to stop. But all in all, the good, man. We knew it. We knew Houston was a stud. But like, this guy is putting up Hall of Fame numbers. He's doing things that like 1 to 2 other linebackers have done in NFL history, and it's truly incredible. His 16 or maybe 17 game pace is 22 and a half sacks if he's going on what he's been doing right now. So I know it's a reach.
That's a record breaking, dude. He's that good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's not like he's only played 2-3 games. He's played 6 games now. This is a decent sample size. This dude is like, I'm gonna say now, he's the best Brad Holmes draft pick.
And it was like before when you had that small sample size, you could also compare it with he's only on 3rd down plays. He's only in on passing plays. He doesn't, the reason he's getting so many sacks, and not compared to his plays is because he's not playing on any of the run plays. Well, this week on 1st down, he's in there out there, drops back into coverage, is spying Fields, sees Fields go out to the right, pops in, gets him. That's not just passing play. That's 1st down. He's out there dropping into coverage to spy, because we know Houston is such a freak. And then after the game, he interviews Dude seems like a teddy bear. This guy seems like the nicest fucking guy I would ever meet. Like I want to talk to James Houston because he just seems like the most nice. He just seems so nice, dude. Most honorable kind of guy, as I was going to try to say. Like, just awesome. I love James Houston. And then, yeah, like, let's just talk about 8 sacks in 6 games. That's fucking crazy. We were talking about Aiden Hutchinson breaking the sack record. It might be James Houston. That's nuts. That would be nuts if he broke it and didn't start playing until Thanksgiving. That would be crazy.
Well, that's, I said this last week. I was like, is there a chance that James Houston hits the 10 sack mark and not our boy Aiden Hutchinson? Which, Hutch, he doesn't need to get 10 sacks. He has done it all elsewhere. He's shown that he might not be a sack master. He can get them, and I won't be surprised if he is a sack guy.
7.5 sacks as a rookie is pretty much sack master if it wasn't for James Houston.
We'll get into him in a bit, but real quick, back to James Houston. This dude, all 3 of his sacks were so unique and so just like talented sacks and not just, a field circled around, ran into him. The first one was straight up bull rush the dude, or maybe it was the last. I'll tell you all 3. Bull rushes the guy into Fields falls down. So he's a beast. Then the next one was, I believe, the strip sack or the one where he closes in like a complete rocket. And the thing I liked about that is Fields, one of the fastest, best running quarterbacks in the NFL, didn't even realize what was going on. He thought for sure, I can juke this guy. I could, I'm all right here. And then all of a sudden, this freight train just starts beelining at him and gets the sack. So number 2, and then the last one, I don't know which order, but the beautiful, loops around, chases Fields in the open field and just clobbers down that arm, forces the fumble, leading to Aiden Hutchinson recover. Just amazing. So all in all, and then another little thing that I've been thinking about, as weird this is, how cool is it that, we're getting these late round draft picks popping? Because this year, I'm going to be so excited to go to a Lions training camp and see our 4th, 5th, and 6th round picks and hopefully get an autograph or 2 from, the 5th round guy, the guy who might not play that much. And then lo and behold, he turns out to be a Rodrigo, a Kirby Joseph, a James Houston, an Amon-Ra, and it's now you have a picture, a memory with a legit player and not just, some depth player. So that's a lot. Calling out you Lions fans. Go see our boys play, who practice, I should say. Who knows if they could become a legit superstar. So, Julius, has James Houston, is he our best Brad Holmes draft pick of all time?
Right now, I got to give that to Amon-Ra St. Brown still because he kind of – and even Penei Sewell has an argument to it, even though he was the first Brad Holmes selection.
And so does Aiden Hutchinson.
He was a great first selection, and then Aiden Hutchinson was a great second first-round selection. We yet to know about Jameson Williams, but Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round, what he's become for our team, it's up there. Now, James Houston, he's knocking on the door, though. He's knocking on the door because, like, at first, I thought it was an anomaly. I'm like, okay, 4 sacks in 3 games.
Right.
It can happen.
It'll cool down.
It can happen. A guy can get hot. But, I mean, and what he's doing now, like, he's starting to get more snaps, and the Lions might have something, like, literally, like, something very exciting. It just adds to the notion that I'm already excited about the season, no matter how it ends. Because I feel like going into next season, I trust Brad Holmes now. I trust him. And he's just going to add on to this with what we got in the war chest. He's just going to add on to it. Next year, we're coming back popping, hot. So, James Houston, it's amazing. That's amazing.
Does James Houston and Aiden Hutchinson make you – well, how would you feel if we drafted an edge rusher with one of our first 2 picks?
I'll be okay with that because it'll just make us better.
And we're saying Will Anderson is not one of these top. Say we get the 4th pick with the Rams. We're just going to assume they lose to Seattle in this case. So we keep the 4th pick with the Rams. Will Anderson's gone. So it'd be like, either an edge at the 4th pick or an edge with the 20th pick. But either one, are you drafting a backup? Are you starting whoever you draft over James Houston next year?
Brad Holmes. I trust Brad Holmes.
I mean, right, exactly. It's hard to just argue.
I'm sure he's not going to he's not going to draft like a 3rd-rated edge at number 4 or number 5. He's probably, I could see like interior D, linebacker, safety, corner. I don't know if any corners are projected to go that high right now.
There is a few. I just don't really think. I honestly don't think he will ever draft outside of like the trenches in the first. I bet we get interior defensive line, like you said, with the first. With
Jalen Carter would be dreams.
Jalen Carter would be great, but even Brian Brees from Clemson, just another great interior defensive lineman, either would be just fine. But I bet you any money with our other pick, I don't even know why, but I think we're going to get an edge. We're just going to get another edge, and we're just going to have like this onslaught of edge guys going and going and going. So I don't know. It would be nuts. I couldn't.
I mean, I wanted to bring up something to you guys real quick. This off skelter. Now, what if we pick like another wide receiver or offensive player? Offensive lineman, even.
If it's an offensive guard with not the fourth pick, but like the other first round pick that we
like
have,
a luxury offensive pick.
We need a right guard, I think. Still, I don't think there's anything wrong with us taking a right guard in the first round.
Somebody's going to pay Evan Brown a lot of money in free agency. I think he's not going to be back.
I agree.
Exactly, I do agree, and I don't know if that we need to rush on getting a cornerback that early. Just because I honestly believe in our coaching staff and Brad Holmes scouting and our scouting ability to get a cornerback in the second or third round that is can play just as well as someone in the first round. Whereas I think offensive linemen might drop a little bit more increasingly once you get past first, second round, instead of where corners are kind of all a crapshoot. Honestly, like you could end up with Tariq Woolen in the second round, who has 6 or 7 picks for the Seahawks right now.
Well, you guys are the draft experts, but I'm just saying the Lions need to add to this defense in the first and second rounds of this draft.
Definitely.
They need to add to this defense and make it worthy of going on a run, because that's what I expect next year.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I luxury pick. I like the question, Julius. It would be hopefully not with that Rams pick, but if it was, like
what if we got like Quentin Johnston with the wide receiver with our freaking 4th pick overall, and we just added the best wide receiver coming out in this?
I actually wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that because I'd be scared for James.
Because Shark might not be back. Shark might not be back.
That's true. That's true.
So we're looking at Jameson Williams and Amon Rosen. We're gonna need a third. We're gonna need an X receiver.
Quentin Johnson, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That would be just
Khalif Raymond.
Sure, I don't care. You can put me back as the 4th receiver. Those 3 would be not that we should do that for everyone listening. Not that we should draft a wide receiver.
If they fall to like whatever our second pick is, say we get Jalen Carter off some crazy in the first,
he's
it's all kind of scenarios to dream up with this.
Yeah, and it's all. I'm looking at these comments right now. Everyone's got their own opinion. It's all hearsay, whatever you say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is way too early. Yeah,
of course. I don't know. But it's so fun to talk about.
We're in the playoff hunt, boys.
We're in the playoff hunt. Let's go. Ah!
Love it. So yeah, it's a weird situation where I don't know. Can you guys remember a circumstance where the Lions locked in a top 10 pick, and come last week of the season, we're in it for the playoffs?
Never in my life we have.
This is the first time scenario in our lifetimes, guys.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they don't really make moves to put them in a situation of 2, 3.
We've traded up into the late first round before and had a first top 10 pick, but we've never just ended the season.
Listen, do y'all remember when Stafford got traded? When this first happened, when Holmes first got hired and Stafford got traded for those picks, and we got Goff, this is exactly where we dreamed we would be in the second year. At the
probably
end of the
better than what we dreamed.
Way better.
You know what I mean? At 8-8 and then the playoff chance, like we didn't expect that year 2, nor should have we. You know what I mean? Everyone in Detroit has outperformed themselves. We have the youngest squad in the NFL, and we are outperforming
the hardest schedule.
Everyone. Yeah,
the youngest team.
Hardest schedule, youngest team.
Yeah, not to mention, coming into this year, we were looking at the schedule. Jets, Jaguars, these Panthers, these are easy teams. Well, lo and behold, pretty much the only easy team we played was the Bears. And that was our guaranteed interdivision game. And if you look at pretty much every other game, they were, at least had some sort of chance to make the playoffs come this week, honestly, I believe.
And then the NFLPA filed a grievance against Carolina for the cement field they had to play on, like playing on like I called out last week. Like I said, that was like playing on a freaking track. It was and now the NFL, and come on, That's the only way Carolina could have beat it.
And they were like, how could this red hot Lions team have lost? There's no way. It must have been the field. So
we all know that Green Bay is just going to make sure their field is as crap as possible.
Oh, they watering that motherfucker down.
Didn't I hear something about who they played in their last game? They were complaining about Green Bay's field being soggy.
Is that right?
That was the Vikings.
Yeah, they were saying they said there was no precipitation in the Green Bay area since like the 22nd of December. And the field shouldn't have been wet, but the middle of the field was wet. But then, Green Bay just say, we still blew Minnesota out anyway. So didn't matter. Same thing with Carolina. That's what they're saying about us. They're saying, you're complaining.
We still ran for 350 yards.
Yeah. Exactly. It didn't. The hard cement field didn't mess us up offensively or defensively. So, you really can't say nothing. And that's why
you can't. Right, you can't.
That's why Green Bay fans are so excited about their home field advantage. They're expecting a little cold weather and stuff like that. So,
well, good thing Green Bay sucks in the cold weather, so I'm not really worried about that.
We already beat Green Bay, and I think we're the better team. And I feel like Dan Campbell could get us mentally ready for that environment.
And Green Bay just went and smoked Minnesota. You know what that tells me? Nothing about Green Bay. It just tells me that Minnesota is just trash, and that we knew that all along.
I already talked to Green Bay fans. They were like, it didn't tell us nothing. Minnesota.
Kirk Cousins, man, when he is not playing at 1 p.m., I do not understand how bad this guy is. It's the biggest mind-blowing fact.
Goff is better than Cousins.
Oh, absolutely, all day. Goff is honestly like a 1 p.m. Cousins who is very good. I would probably still take Jared Goff, but Jared Goff at 4 o'clock is still a lot better than Kirk Cousins at 4 o'clock. So I don't know what it is with Cousins, but it just his record that are non-Sunday night or Sunday 1 p.m. games it's insane. I don't know the exact stats, but it's probably something like along the lines of 5-20 because it's bad. Someone did send me the thing. I did look at it real quick. It was bad, but Kirk Cousins. That's why I'm not ever worried, if we do have to play them in the playoffs. If we do, hopefully, we get a primetime game against the Vikings next year for the NFC North because we, just ripped the heart out of Rodgers this week and they fall off, et cetera, et cetera. And then we take on a Vikings in primetime. Feel so good about that game. But real quick, let's just, talk a few extra things about this Bears game because there was a lot of good things. One notable thing, not just Justin Houston getting in there.
James Houston.
Yes. It was Jameson Williams getting some more than 1 to 2 targets. He got 3 targets and 1 beautiful rush attempt. This was awesome. So, boys, when you saw this little flipperoo reverse play, what were you thinking, Nick? Were you like, finally, this is what we've been waiting for?
Yes. This was the first time I got to see him with the ball in his hand, not just in the end zone, where I could see him make a cut, and I could see for my own eyes, because it seems like over the last year, his knees are made out of glass and they cannot cut. He is only allowed to run straight, and if he catches the ball, continue to run straight until he hits the end zone. This was the first time ever I got to see him make a turn and then a little cut. It was awesome. I loved to see it. I want to see it more. It did nothing but more just excite the crap out of me. Every single pass that Goff had to Jameson Williams was pretty bad behind him. Jameson should have caught the first one. It did hit his hands, but he didn't catch it. But again, it was a bad throw. We're just not going to see Jameson Williams until we have a full offseason of Williams and Goff together. But that doesn't mean you can't give him the ball. And just like this, and this is a great – in fact, I would love to set him up as a running back and run a pitch play or something with him. Let's just do – other than one jet sweep, let's do something to get this ball. Let's do a bubble screen. I know we did try to do a bubble screen to him last week, and Goff threw it right into the dirt, and it was the worst throw I've ever seen. I don't know why he – but whatever. I like that we're starting to scheme him up a little bit more. Let's go.
Well, I will say, Nick, you mentioned get him in the backfield, toss a pitch to him. I'm almost positive either this game or the Panthers game, we gave a pitch to Amon-Ra. He lined up in the backfield. There was a pitch swing left. So
in fact, I think we ran it with St. Brown up the tackles at one point in the Carolina game.
We have tons of Amon-Ra run plays in the playbook. Tons.
A ton, but
and it's
let's insert Jameson Williams to
exactly.
that.
Those plays.
Find out J-Mo, a guy who's got a little more explosive speed. Oh, baby, I'm so excited. And
God, he
hopefully,
was so fast. I honestly thought he was about to get that touchdown until when he put on that second burner, he started to fall forward.
yeah.
But if he would have just kept that momentum, he possibly
But
could have
that-
outran the two
Honestly, that was like the perfect, most ideal. I wish it would have happened like his first game played, but at least it's happening this year where he's in open space, making cuts, running. And
Yes.
I will say, as terrible as these announcers were, Vilma and Albert Breer, they did make one good point, and that was when they were talking about Jameson and just being able to get out there and cut and know, okay, my knees they're back, baby. I'm back. And it's little confidence boosts like that, which I think will go a long way. And it's just piece by piece put together this puzzle, and hopefully we just unleash this beast come next week. We give him 8 targets, nothing insane, but
right now, honestly, I don't want to do that. I don't want to fix what's not broke, and it's just, I wouldn't have minded seeing that like 3 weeks ago. Like when we weren't right, like the last game of the season when we need to win to get in the playoffs is probably not the game we're going to have to feed Jameson Williams 8 targets. But 3 weeks ago where we were like, well, we still could lose one and maybe get in the playoffs. Like, let's try to feed him. But I mean, he was just.
All right, Nick, I got a good question for you. The Lions are down 4 points, need a touchdown, 2-minute drive in Lambeau. Are you putting Jameson Williams out on that 2-minute drive?
Yes, I will have Jameson Williams out on that drive. I will not give him one target. I will literally give every single target to Amon-Ra St. Brown until I need a touchdown, and then that target's going to Brock Wright. That's it. Those are the only 2 things I'm doing. I know we can get a touchdown with our tight end. That's easy. And I know Amon-Ra St. Brown by himself can carry us from the 25 to the 25. So that's where I'm going. But yes, Jameson's going to be out there because he's an amazing decoy right now. And he takes safety's eyes. Even if they don't double cover him, he takes safety's eyes for a split second. And if Goff is good enough, he can use a split second to take advantage of that safety.
Against Green Bay, J-Mo is going to be exactly that. He's going to be a decoy, and when he's not a decoy, you're going to actually use him, just like on that reverse. The whole rhythm, play action, bombs, hitting him with quick slants and stride, that's going to take an off season. It's going to take an off season. It's going to take a training camp, and I'm sure we'll see it. I'm sure we will because, he's an average route runner at best. That's good enough with that speed.
I agree. I think he absolutely needs to be out there because he has shown, which is really good, that he's not just a decoy. Like, yes, he is a decoy, but he got a 50-yard bomb. He's made a 50-yard rush, so it's like you just can't assume he is a decoy because you never know what will happen.
His talent is undeniable.
Exactly. Yes.
I want to break in too, and I'm going to answer 3 quick things I see here. 1, will the Lions re-sign Shark? I don't think so. 2, perfect. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm going to run a little fast on these. 2, the one right under it. Y'all think you're just going to go down the field? I do think with a 2-minute warning, we would be able to go down the field. No, I do not think we're just going to run it up and down the field on Green Bay. Obviously, it'll be a close game. And then the last one right under that was my dad, who was at the game. And what I want to bring up about this, yes, great, James Williams, everyone went nuts. Did you guys see the hype video that he is referring to right now?
When Dan Campbell said when there was like this is a TV
after the game.
It was like like at 1 minute to go in the game.
2 minutes left.
Yeah. They put that hype video. I saw that just today. I was fucking crying. That was just beautiful. It took us to the lowest of the low, and it showed how we fought through, and just ends with Dan Campbell. We can and we will, and it's like, yeah, dude, we will. Like, let's go. So just great. I wanted to make sure. And if any listeners, watchers, followers haven't seen that video, I can't remember who I saw tweet about it, but a lot of people tweeted about it. Go try to find that video. It's an amazing video.
And then, while we're talking about this Bears game, I could not bring up Joshua Pascal, 2 sacks, baby. This guy is also starting to make some noise. It's not just, Hutch and Houston and Kirby and Rodrigo and the rest. Joshua Pascal, he hasn't played the full season, but when he has, he's getting there, man. 2 sacks in a game. I'm really starting to like what I see from this guy. He's really, becoming better because the Lions are getting better, if that makes sense. So I feel like Hutchinson, he wasn't, the tear he was during that, couple 3-4 game streak. he's now receiving a full-on, okay, this dude's legit pass protection. So it's now guys like John Kaminsky stepping up, Pascal stepping up, a core brother stepping up. So it's nice to see the effects of not just what Hutch has been able to do, but what he can do by just, taking up, blockers, if that makes sense. So all in all, Pascal, go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say all our rookies shined, along with Pascal finally breaking through and having this great game. Aiden Hutchinson coming up with a third interception on such a crazy play that we didn't rush a single player. We just dropped 11 people into the back and made Justin Fields throw this random
dunk. Did you see how Hutch lined up on that? That was so cool.
He lined up on the crazy.
They put Fields on one side of the field. They put Hutchinson on the other side of the field. Fields is not a good quarterback, guys.
No.
He's a good running back, but he is not a good quarterback because that was a dumb throw, and he lucky Aiden Hutchinson didn't want to take it for 6 because he could have.
I tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. We won, and we would have won this game no matter what, and especially what I'm about to say, no matter what, we would have won this game. But I will say this, and I don't know if you guys believe it or not. It's probably the last thing I have to say about the Bears. Adam didn't even want to hear it, so Julius, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Once Justin Fields had that 80-yard sprint, got taken down, and we saw him get shaken up. We saw him have the muscle relaxer on his leg the entire rest of the game. We saw him not move, not run like we were used to the entire rest of the game. He was injured after that play, and they didn't score another point after that. That helped us. That helped us immensely.
Well,
it really did.
That was a part of the 7 sacks we laid out. We were just beating every time. If Fields wasn't getting sacked, he was getting the ball out of his hands and getting blasted. And it's like that adds up when you're not, a big bulky running back and you're a quarterback, not used to those hits. It adds up, and it did.
Our defensive line won over their offensive line big time, and that's something they were not capable of doing last season that they're capable of now, and it's one of the reasons I think they have a chance against Green Bay, because I think they match up pretty decently against Green Bay offensive line. They did the first time as well. So big time on defense. Josh Pascal, John Kaminsky, Alan McNeil, Romeo Okwara. I mean, it's great. It's great to see. It's great to see. Our defensive line is going to win us or lose us the game in Green Bay.
It's crazy to say because, I'm thinking of all Brad Holmes draft picks, and I don't think he has, knock on wood, a true bust. And
Levi Onwuzurike
he hasn't played yet, man. If his career's over, then sure, I'll chalk it up. But I don't know. We still haven't seen it. You never know. Until I see him play, 5, 6, 7, 8 bad games, then I'll believe it. But as of now, it's like I'm not checking that box just.
What did Iffy do against Chicago that made you be like, oh, I'm glad we got Iffy Melifonwu on our team? But he's not a bust because he's a 4th-round pick. It's really hard to be a bust at that point. But I would say he is one of the lowest end draft picks that we've had.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Him and Levi are the 2 outliers, which are.
But you're right.
No Lions drafts picks have been in the past. Those are amazing outliers.
Right.
And then finally, I cannot not talk about. I won't say that. Jamal Williams, 22 for 144 and a touchdown. He's chasing that record. He wants to take it away from Barry Sanders, and he's also chasing another not record, but Lions milestone, and that's 1,000 yards in a season. He's at 994 right now. Could be the first Lions 1K rusher since
Kerryon Johnson, 2018.
Reggie Bush.
Kerryon never got 1,000.
I think no, he was very close.
He must have been
he broke the 100-yard rush game.
He did break I knew that, but I also thought that year he got 1,000.
Reggie Bush was the last one.
Yeah. Good job, Julius. That's why you're the 2-time defending Jeopardy champion.
I was just about to say that's why I do great in Jeopardy.
Simmer down. I'm creating some insane questions. I'm stumping all you guys.
Adam, it's okay, buddy. I'm gonna beat you again.
But I will say, the usage of DeAndre Swift was kind of odd, as in we gave Jamal Williams the bulk of the load, 22 to 11 carries, but for some reason Swift was getting touches in a blowout in the 4th quarter, and I'm like, Dan Campbell, if you're cautious with this guy in the 1st quarter against the Bears, Panthers, Jets, whoever, why are you not cautious in the fourth quarter in a blowout? So that was the one thing where I was like,
I think.
don't
Can
get
I jump in? Here's what I would say to that, Adam. To what I think you're thinking is that they're cautious of not overrunning DeAndre Swift early in the game, but no care later in the game. I don't think it's cautiousness. I said this a couple times. DeAndre Swift is our running back 3, and there is a reason he's not getting the ball early, and that's not because we're cautious of him. That's because we trust Jamal Williams more, and then we bring in the fresh legs of DeAndre Swift later to ground and pound it out. But it is not because we don't want to overuse DeAndre Swift. It is because Jamal Williams is the best running back on the Detroit Lions right now. It is because Justin Jackson is arguably the second best running back on the team right now. And in DeAndre Swift's mind, I think Justin Jackson is the number 2 running back over DeAndre Swift. And they use Swift in these precise plays in the red zone. But I'm telling you, I don't think it's cautiousness that's keeping him off the field early.
I know me and Julius are thinking the same thing. So Justin Jackson's number 2.
What you think?
Why was he a healthy scratch?
Yeah, I mean, because our running back came crazy.
DeAndre Swift is better than him. Tell me y'all didn't
Finally
see his juice. That juice is back, baby. DeAndre Swift got that burst that he lost in the middle of the season after he hurt his ankle and his shoulder.
No, he didn't. He just had 13 yards against Carolina. Just because you do good against a bad Chicago Bears team does not mean you're bad.
Carolina, though. The whole team did bad against Carolina. DeAndre Swift brought it back against the Bears, and he could possibly bring it back against the Packers.
I trust Jamal Williams. I want Jamal Williams to have 25 touches against Green Bay and DeAndre Swift to have 6 or less.
You're right.
Or at least right around there.
I want that too, but I think Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift make a great running back duo. Running back 1A and running back 1B, just as it was envisioned from the beginning. And I think Swift got his juice back. And, I think Justin Jackson, they might cut him any day now. That's how.
Calm down.
Come on. That's how expendable running backs are.
Real quick to Dave. He's talking about Jones and Dillon, dude. Our defensive line is going to shut the front door on Green Bay's run game, and it will be so fun to watch Aaron Rodgers try to literally have to win this game without a run game because that's where he can't do it. Throw it to Christian Watson. We'll see what happens. Dude, we're going to shut the run game down so easily. However, Aaron Rodgers probably will throw for 400.
Let's go back in the headlines, guys. Let's go back to the headlines. Before that Packer game, we were 1-6 earlier in the season. Everybody thought that our, at the time, historically bad defense was about to get roasted by Aaron Rodgers at Ford Field. What happened? He threw for a bunch of yards, but their run game, which was doing great, they barely, I don't know, they barely got 100 yards or
they
something.
Didn't get off the bus, bro.
Down. That was before James Houston, and that was before John Comiskey. I think John Comiskey was actually out that game. And that was before Aiden. I mean, our defensive line is going to bring it this game. I don't care if they got Bakhtiari back. Bakhtiari, lucky Trey Flowers didn't end his existence in Green Bay when the refs helped him out. So
yeah. And everyone's like, oh, it'd be cold, they won't be able to stop them. Okay, well, what happened last time it was cold and Green Bay tried to go win a game that meant for them to continue their season? They got toasted, bro. They're not built for their own stadium in the cold, and they're a great team, but they're not built for their own stadium, which is crazy to me. That's why Rodgers is leaving, because he's like, why the fuck would I want to go 13-3 in regular season time and time again and then go play in January's Lambeau weather? Like, this is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. So
nobody wants to play there. It's home field. It's a home field advantage for the Lions too. Yeah,
absolutely. Who can run the ball more? And I believe in Jamal Williams more than anyone on that team, especially in a revenge game.
Jamal Williams revenge.
Yeah,
Jamal Williams revenge game.
That's a great point there. And this wasn't, he just played for that team revenge game. No, they kicked him to the curb, and the Lions brought him in with open arms,
Jamal looking already a little pissed. Like he let one of the reporters have it just by calling it Pokemon.
It's Pokemon.
Pokemon. You better recognize, because Swaggy called him out. Dude, Swaggy already looks. He's got like a fire in his eyes right now. He is ready for this game. I'm telling you. Swaggy going to break Barry Sanders' record. 2 touchdowns at least minimum for Jamal.
Did you guys see Aaron Rodgers' video when they asked him earlier today about the Lions? He said, these are not the same old Lions. These guys, what they've done to turn around from 1-6 has been pretty amazing, and they're going to come ready to play in Lambeau. He actually showed us some respect.
That's surprising. I
He
was
said
not
the
expecting
exact
to say
words.
that.
These aren't the same old Lions. He said that. I don't know if you guys saw the video. It came out a few hours ago.
I did not. So I'm banking off of trusting you here. I love that.
But that means that he respects us and he knows. He knows this is not just a gimme.
This is not a trap game for either teams. Both teams are all in on this game. It's going to be the most fun. This is why it's Sunday Night Football. And I truly hope Seattle loses just because there's that one more
thrill
of come on. Like, it will be fun. Even if Seattle wins, it will still be fun to watch that game and beat Green Bay and knock them out of the playoffs. And it will be fun. But it won't be as fun as us making the playoffs.
How perfect would it be if they tied? The Seahawks tied the Rams.
That's fine. That's
great too.
It's a double win. It doesn't give the Rams a win, and it doesn't give the Seahawks a win.
I guess that is what
we're still in if they tie.
We are still in if they tie. Yes, 100%. We would win.
Be 8-1, and we'll be 9-8. So.
And like Adam said, the Rams might not move up so much in the draft order list with just a tie rather than an extra win. So I'm okay with that. Yeah.
And real quick before we move on to this Packers talk, I know we're getting there. Let me just read off Swift's career carries of 15 carries or more, which he's only had like 5 times in his career, which blows my mind, which I think he should get.
He's injured why would we give him 15 carries in a game? He's just going to be injured that game.
Let him rip, man, which is true. Yes.
For the one game and then he gets injured? I'm sorry.
Week 1 this year, 15 for 144 with a touchdown. Last year, he had, against the Steelers, we ran him into the ground, 33 carries, 130 yards. And then his rookie year, he had 2 other games, 16 carries for 81 yards and 15 carries for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. So when you give him 15 carries, he's decent. And there's like such a small sample size. I'm just like, I wonder. But you make a great point, Nick. When he gets 13, 14, he gets injured. So it's just another one of those what ifs type things. And, I do think we are eventually going to see, especially next year, because correct me if I'm wrong, is next year going to be Swift's last year, or is that his fourth?
Next year is the last year of his contract.
Yes, because he wasn't a first round pick. So yeah.
We gave him 11 carries and we gave him 4 targets. I'm cool with that every game for Swift. When he's at full juice, like I said, he looks like he's at. The
only reason he got that is because we had a 30-point lead in the fourth quarter. He will not see more than 5 or 6 touches. Guys, this is what it's been. I'm not like just breaking this news to you. This is what it's been, and this is
That's
what
all
it
he needs
this
to
is
do
the
damage.
scheme.
That's all he needs to do damage, though. That's all he needs.
That's not debated. Yeah, I'm not debating that. You're right. He can make big plays out of these, but like Swift is like us talking about, is Kenneth Gainwell going to get these targets for the Philadelphia Eagles? Like, we're talking about a backup running back. Jamal Williams is our running back 1. He leads the league in touchdowns. He is our running back. DeAndre Swift can honestly be sat for Justin Jackson, and it would make no difference to me in like at all watching.
So you do not value his elite home run hitting ability, because that's what he has.
Law doesn't have that.
He can take a screen 70 yards out of nowhere. He makes a mismatch in the passing game. Do you not value that, Nick?
Not as much as I value Jamal Williams' 7 yards per carry.
He only has 4 yards per carry, though.
Yeah, but that's because the last like 3 weeks he's been kind of down. But there's
games he's going to give you 2 or 3 yards of carry because he lacks that home run hitting, juiced out potential that DeAndre Swift has.
I just don't want to play Madden with this team right now. This team, I want my receivers to be playing Madden. I want my running backs to run the ball like just up the middle, like a high school north and south type. And DeAndre Swift doesn't give you north and south. But he's kind of getting back. He used to. And then this injury this year has stopped him. It's hindered him immensely.
Do you guys think
weird
Jamal Williams' success has played any type of, mind games into Swift's? I lost my job,
I don't think mind games to Swift. I think mind games with Deuce Staley, and I think Deuce Staley is like, I don't need Swift now. Right? Yeah. I don't need him.
Swift is what he is. He is not who Jamal Williams is, which is a between the tackles bruiser. Right. That's not who Swift is. Swift is an in-space dynamic running back. Right. And that's how you got to use him.
Also say, as reliable as Jamal Williams has been with the ball, he's got 3 fumbles this year. Swift doesn't have any. Granted, he's got 243 rushes to 96 or something, but still,
that is something to watch, because you can argue like Jamal Williams, he's never fumbled before in his career, like this is an anomaly, but he's also never been this old before in his career, and this might be it might just.
I love both of them at full run.
I agree. Yeah,
I like the system that Ben Johnson uses with both of them, using both of their strengths with our offensive line.
Yeah, I trust, and Ben Johnson, I trust. It doesn't matter what he does.
All right, boys, real quick before we get into this Packers breakdown, I'm just going to read off some crazy stats, facts, history that the Lions PR. It's Lions PR on Twitter. Awesome account to follow. Tweet out all sorts of Lions stats. But here we go. In Week 17, Lions rookies James Houston, Aiden Hutchinson, Joshua Pascal produced 5.5 sacks. This marks the most sacks an NFL team's rookies have had combined to produce in a single game since 2001. The Lions wide receivers have combined for 171 rush yards this season. That was it. Yeah, cool. All right. Here's the next one. The NFL's only tight end tandem with at least 4 tight end touchdowns apiece this season. Lions, Shane Zylstra, and Barack Wright. Who would have absolutely thought going the season with TJ Hockenson that'd be the outcome?
Great trade, Brad Holmes.
Amazing trade. I just talked about it yesterday with my family. One of the best trades I've ever seen in Detroit history.
And it was getting knocked when it happened. It was getting knocked.
I was knocking it. I'm pretty sure. I
16 trading away their only weapon at tight end.
Yeah.
Like I said, though, a top tight end does not move the needle for a team like everyone thinks it does.
That's even $15 million saved.
That's and an extra couple picks acquired.
An extra second-round draft pick.
Yes, sir. All right, a couple more. Yesterday, Lions linebacker Justin Houston. James Houston. Keep calling him Justin Houston.
Yeah, that's the Kansas City. Yeah.
I know. I keep flipping.
James Houston turns into Justin Houston. That's good.
Yeah,
he's going to be Von Miller. He's going to be.
Yeah, I want better. You're right. Exactly. Yep. Okay.
So produced this 3-sack game season, first 3-sack game out of any defensive lineman since Aiden Hutchinson's in week 2. So that was cool. This also marks the first time in NFL history that 2 rookie teammates have logged a 3-sack game performance in the same season. So hats off to them. Also, Lions rookies have combined for 18.5 sacks this year, which ties the second most for sacks in a team's by rookies by a team in NFL history. So
what's the most?
The most 19.
We're getting that next week, baby.
One sack, and 1 sack only to
by a rookie. 1 sack by a rookie.
Break that.
It's going to be Kirby Joseph.
NFL rookie sack as a team record.
As a team, rookie.
Yes, that is absolutely amazing.
The Titans did this in 1999. So this is a record.
Javon Curse, the Freak, Kevin Carter. I can't remember what other rookies they had, but
did they have a defensive tackle too?
Yeah, I thought that was Kevin Carter. Maybe I said the wrong name, but exactly. Defensive tackle and Javon Curse, Javon Curse. I mean, the Freak. That's to even be mentioned in that. It's awesome.
And then finally, the Lions rushed for 265 yards on Sunday. This marks their most rushing yards in a home game since 1978 and the first time they've done it overall since 1991. So the run game has been completely changed. There's some other cool stats about Aiden Hutchinson on there, but if you guys want to check out, it's Lions PR. They have a bunch of cool stuff. But, boys, without further ado, let's talk this Packers game. I know we've been teased it this entire show.
Hold on. Wait. Bakhtiari shut down. And guess what? Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston ain't Zadarius Smith, my friend.
Also, Bakhtiari played with and practiced with Zadarius Smith for multiple
he
years.
Knows him like the back
he knows what he's doing. That's the worst analogy and comparison I could have ever seen. Well, this guy who has been sitting here the entire time.
Daniel Hunter.
Stop it. What is we doing, Dave? Come on, bro. Bring us good stats. You guys won 41-2 or something like that.
About to shut down the Detroit Lions defensive front. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see. I will say, one player that did have a very good performance for the Packers that does worry me now, that's Jair Alexander. He just shut down Justin Jefferson after Justin Jefferson deleted all his socials, was getting locked in. This was a big game, was going to, MVP, 2,000 yards on all this, yada, yada, yada. And he gets shut down, which also goes to show how freaking tough it is to go over 1,900 yards or do what Calvin Johnson did in 2015, I believe. But all in all, that record for he broke Jerry Rice's record 15 games, but set his own in 16 total. That's amazing that it's, knock on wood, likely going to stand another season when it was threatened very, very close last year with Cooper Kupp, who ironically could have beat it, but they gave him his first ever rush attempt, which if it was a pass attempt, if it was a touch pass, it would have been enough to break the record, but it was a pitch pass and it wasn't. So that's a whole other story. But all in all, Jair Alexander, he's gonna be interesting. I think Amon-Ra is gonna be a great test. It's not like we have B type receivers. We have an elite wide receiver one, Amon-Ra, and I do think that he is every bit as good as the Devontae Adams, the Justin Jeffersons. He might not be that red zone threat, but when you're marching down the field, Amon-Ra is one of the toughest guys to cover. And if Jair can take that out of the game, I'm going to be a bit worried. So hopefully, Goff can spread it around, make, Jair Alexander float around like our buddy Dave has mentioned, and, just not have him trying to lock down one guy. But I'd love to see Amon-Ra.
Last game against Green Bay, Amon-Ra had 9 targets, caught 4 passes for 55 yards. That's not a ton.
However,
that's not how we beat him.
The opposing wide receivers, the other wide receivers, the only 2 other wide receivers that catch a ball of that game for the Lions was Khalif Raymond and Tom Kennedy. We did not have DJ Shark. We did not have Jameson Williams as the decoy. We did not know really how to use our tight ends.
No,
we are
both of our touchdowns went to James Mitchell and Shane Zylstra in that game.
Yes.
Both of our touchdowns.
And that's why Brock Wright don't catch 2 touchdowns.
That can happen again.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Put Jair Alexander on Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's okay because of who we have. We are going to be able to – it's not like, if Amon-Ra St. Brown's covered, we're throwing it to Shane Zylstra or Tom Kennedy. Shit. We can't score more than 12 points in this game. We have to – it's not who we are anymore. This is going to be so fun. But I hate the Packers, but I hate Jair Alexander. That cocky fucker is probably the one of the most annoying cornerbacks to ever listen to, and it's perfect that he is on a team with Aaron Rodgers. All that said – him doing an interview saying he's not good, he's great with a dope-ass big hat on from the Brian Robinson Friend Family Foundation was very funny. And I really want to see a Detroit Lion do an interview with a big hat because I like those. I want to get one. I like those.
Hey, we're going to do the show during the game.
Yeah.
I have a Detroit Lions big hat.
We're going to be live during the game.
All right, Julius. Cat's out of the bag. So hopefully everything runs smooth. We're all on the same live stream. Hopefully it should work fine. We're all watching it through cable, nothing like YouTube TV or any of that streaming service. And it should be, a live show. You're going to be getting I feel like we're going to be giving our own type of commentary on it. Nick, I peg you as a Pat McAfee type guy. Julius, not quite sure yet, but we're going to see Sunday. So
I'm more like I'm quiet for a lot of the game. I'm just watching, looking at fine details, and I react live, what I'm saying, to the big moments. I wear my
heart on the sleeve, you know what I mean?
Yeah. During the big moments, I'll come out and shine.
It'll be really fun. If all goes well, I have a feeling that we may be trying to do this more often moving forward because it could be really
a fun time. I remember we tried to do the draft. That was kind of long and kind of dragging with other teams we didn't care about. But a live game should be fun.
And we'll be also interacting with all the comments too. So you guys will be talking, hopefully, texting, tweeting. We'll be commenting on tweets and all sorts of stuff. So it should be a fun time. But back to the Packers game. They are a 4.5-point favorite. Julius, I'll ask you, 4.5 points. Is this higher or lower than what you're expecting?
That's about what I was expecting at Green Bay on Sunday Night Football. Last game, the score was we won 15-9. It was only 24 points. So, to give us 49, that's pretty cool. Almost double on the road in the cold. So, just about what I expect on a couple good offenses of late.
I kind of agree. I thought 4 was a little.
Or making predictions? Oh yeah.
No, I was just going to go on with what. I just want to also answer this because it's a fun question that you asked there, Adam. I also want to answer it. I thought 3 was going to be the line. I thought it'd be a pick 'em, and they were just going to give the -3 to Green Bay. Thought maybe it'd go to -4 at max. -4.5 is probably the highest. I really thought it would open up. I wouldn't be that comfortable taking the Lions. You'll wait till my prediction, and I'll predict
The
to win.
Lions
But
faithful will
I
come
would not
in.
want to put my money on that.
We're going to move the spread to -4. I'm calling it now. I think Detroit fandom is going. The Kool-Aid is like, there's no more blood in Detroit. It's just pure Kool-Aid running through any Lion fan right now. And I think it's going to take over for the good or for the worse. But I think we're going to move half a point down to -4. That's going to be my prediction. But all in all, Julius, I'll shoot it to you. Score prediction.
So could this possibly backfire and the same kind of thing that happened in Carolina or happened in New England happen in Green Bay? Yes, that can happen. We still got the roster we have, and that happened. We still need to make some improvements in the offseason coming up in a few spots in our defense. It's possible Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones and that Packer offense can do damage against our defense enough for us to lose without us scoring more points than them. So if we lost, I wouldn't be surprised. And am I picking us to lose? No, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid one last time, boys, because I picked these guys to be 12-4 or 13-3. I forgot 13-4 and win the NFC North and shock the world. So I'm sticking with my gut.
Do you have a paper there, Nick?
Yeah.
Lions 24, Packers 21 on the road. No matter what, playoffs or not, we shock Green Bay. We send Aaron Rodgers home. We send the Packer faithful home. And the Lions stake claim to this division going into 2023 as a favorite. Starting this weekend on Sunday Night Football. We make a statement. Playoffs or not, we make a statement. I'm picking them to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. 24-21 Lions.
I love it. Keep it simple, too. I like the easy 24-21. This isn't the same old Packers either. It's kind of interesting because if this was a Packers with Devontae Adams, with a young Randall Cobb or Jordy Nelson, I might be a little scared. Or even, beefed up more defense. But this is like one of the worst Packers teams that the Lions will get to play for a meaningful game, because there has been a couple of years where Rodgers been injured and, the Packers have just been bad and the game wasn't really meaningful. But this game, I think this is the most beautiful Packers team that the Lions have faced in the Aaron Rodgers era for an impact of game. So if you put that ratio of, important game to Packers being good and bad, I think this puts it on the top. So all in all, I'm going with a bit of a low-scoring game. I do think Goff is going to, have some time to adjust. I think it's going to be a slow start, but I'm going to go 20-13. I think the Lions get it done. Rodgers is just going to get one touchdown real quick early on, and I think it's going to be the Lions that come back from a 13-6 deficit, 2 touchdowns unanswered in the second half, not fourth quarter, but second half to win it 20-13. Lions victory. What say you, Nick?
There's a lot of ways this game could go, isn't it? Oh, boy. Just for the record, Julius, the Lions going 13-4 and winning in Week 18 against Green Bay 21-7. Adam, you had us going 13-4 and winning in Green Bay. Oh no, I'm sorry, Julius, you had Green Bay winning 21-7. So go fuck yourself, Julius. And Adam, you had Lions winning 16-13.
Okay.
I had us finishing 10-7 and Green Bay winning 27-23 this week. That is not what I'm going to predict, though, because that was dumbass old Nick. I don't know what he was thinking. This game's going to be crazy. This game's going to come down to a Mason Crosby field goal kick to win it on the back of a referee flag that gives them the opportunity to kick this 52-yarder. The score at that point will be 23-21 Lions. And that'll be the final, because Mason Crosby will shank this wide right with a little bit of wind, and they will miss the field goal. And Aaron Rodgers will be like, I did everything I could. The Lions will be freaking out. Do I think we make the playoffs or not? I'm not going to predict that. I'm not going to predict on the Seattle Rams game. I can't make a prediction. I'm hoping so. Hope the Rams win. But I think the Lions win this game on a Mason Crosby missed field goal, a 52-yarder, and it goes wide right. I think the Lions have the lead at halftime in this game. and don't score again in the entire second half. I
Ooh.
think we have the lead 23 to 7 at halftime. And like I said, it'll be 23-21 with this kick going in. So that's what I predict. I'm going to go 23-21 Lions.
Of me, Nick. You're kind of on the opposite side. Still Lions winning, but it's more of the Packers charging back and the Lions holding off than the Lions, charging in and stealing it. So I like it. But yes,
real quick, I want to say, there's a lot. Okay, so dang it, there's too much to talk about for this. There's going to be a lot of battles to watch. First and foremost, we talked about the run game of Green Bay versus Lee McNeil and the run defense of the Detroit Lions. It will be imperative. Jair Alexander with Amon-Ra St. Brown will be imperative. The two quarterbacks playing will be crazy to watch. A lot of this will come down to coaching. The only way we can be in this game and up 23-21 with the last second field goal chance for the Green Bay to win is Dan Campbell has to be better coaching, be a better coach than Matt LaFleur.
Yeah,
that is what it will not come down to Aaron Rodgers or Jared Goff. It will be the coaching. And this is a time for Dan Campbell to shine. Yeah. Make it so that next year you don't have to be on any kind of hot seat like I was talking about. Yeah. And if you missed last week, go listen to last week's episode before you think that's too spicy of a take. Just do really good at coaching. Win or lose, do really good at coaching. And don't make us come back on the show and be like, Dan, how could you? Like, that's the last thing I want to talk about. I would rather be like, Jared, how could you? You know what I mean? Like, I would rather talk about any of that.
Not a coach excuse, talent excuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I want, if we lose, that's how, so Dan's got to be great. I'm sorry to prolong this show, but yes.
It's all right, because I got one more question for Julius, especially you two, Nick, because I kind of know your answer on this. We did talk a bit before the show, but Julius, the Seahawks go out and blow out the Rams, and all they need, Lions are out of the playoffs. Do you think Dan Campbell adjusts any type of game script, game plan where, I'm getting more aggressive on fourth downs because I just want to beat Green Bay and play spoiler?
Yeah, I definitely think that. I think that if Seattle wins, now he's not going to go much off the script, but it's a last game. Nothing's on the line. Why not? I mean, play hard. If it turns into a blowout or something, if it's something like what Carolina happens, and we're kind of deflated that we're not making the playoffs, the game gets away from us on the road, I could see him throwing in some backups and just playing a clean game, letting it go. And then we're doing the talent excuse, like I said, as long as he's not making no major mistakes that lead to it, But, I could definitely see him going for it, trying to beat them, playing a spoiler. It'd be great to beat Green Bay no matter what. It'd be great to beat them. And Dan Campbell knows that just as well as we do. He wants to feel that. He wants to give that to the team just as much as we want to see it happen. So I expect Dan Campbell to go after Green Bay no matter what, But if Seattle loses, you got to play a little conservative if we get a lead. Just try to run out the clock a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I imagine that.
That's how we'll get ourselves in. That's how we're going to go from a 23-7 lead to 23.
No, I'm talking about like against Chicago. Well, against Chicago, when we went, I think we got up by 3 scores, like 21-3 or 28-3 at half. We started to punt the ball a little bit. The fourth downs, we tried to get them off sides. Then we went to punt in midfield. I'm cool with that. If the playoffs are on the line, you got to sometimes the conservative call is the right call, and that's what Dan Campbell is going to shine or not. Mm-hmm. But if playoffs are not on the line, I don't care.
Every play, go for it. Every fourth down, I don't give a.
Well, one thing I will say that I'm almost positive will determine Seahawks win. I guarantee you, we're not going to see. We'll see very minimal of Jameson. I think that if the Lions know we're out of the playoffs,
minimal Jameson no matter what.
Last game of the year, even though he's been getting his 1, 2, 3 targets, 4 overall, 4 opportunities, which was his most. I think he'll get like 1 target. He'll be back to that square one. Just like send him out deep one time and that's it. Call it good. So all in all, Lions, I think we can get this done. We were not expecting to be here. We got a top 10 pick locked in. Win or lose, we are happy campers going into this offseason. It's been a phenomenal ride. Not just, the Lions, but also Lions fans. You guys have been awesome. Shout out to all our Twitter followers, everybody who's been on the train with us because it's been a wonderful ride, and I'm not ready to stop now, baby.
No, this is the start, guys.
This
It's
is
beginning. It's only just begun.
Playoffs or not, we in for a ride.
Yeah.
And as always, you guys can check us out at Honolulu Blues _. And if you like us all enough individually, you can check us out personally at Everyday FFB for myself, the fifth top for Julius, and Nick Faber NFL for my boy Nick. That is all we got for you folks. The next time we'll see you will be Sunday when the Lions are taking on the Packers for Sunday Night Football.